Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Miss Misha, and thank you guys for tuning in yet again. If you're back for the second time or the third time, I appreciate you guys tuning in to watch my reviews. And if this is your first time, I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So we're talking about the Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 3. All right, I really ain't got much to say. I'm going to just sum it up real quick. We talked about weddings, wigs, and WAP, okay? The 3 W's. I'm just saying. So, in the beginning of the episode, you see Kenya and her Bad Girls Club friend, Latoya, convene, and they're talking mess about Drew yet again because they have nothing else to do because apparently they're two miserable separated women that choose to pick on this nice lady who has not done anything to them. So that scene there was, it fell flat as that half wig that Kenya was wearing. And they sat and they did pictures for Kenya to put on a dating site. Surprisingly, they were dressed like the Bobbsey twins, and they did this impromptu photo shoot where Kenya said, "This is a whole lot of ass," and she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna edit it and Photoshop it." Who photoshopped themselves to get a smaller ass? They going over to Colombia and everything to get them kind of asses, okay? So why would you wanna, any man you find that wants a flat ass? I mean, I don't know. I don't know where they at, cause every man I know now, honey, red, white, blue, black, orange, purple. He wants you to have a round thing in the back. First, let me high five the mother Porsha. I don't want her if her ass don't sit like a horse. Okay? I'm just saying. They don't want that flatness. So, Kenya wanted her to edit, and then she's like, well, I have to make sure I put my ring in there so they know I'm still married. Girl, what alternate universe are you living in? I don't know if it's the quarantine. I don't know if it's the COVID-19, as Mama Joyce would say. But Kenya, no man cares about the fact that you're married. Okay, no, that's off-putting. If that's the case, you shouldn't even be taking pictures for a dating site. And also, no man would like for you to crop out all the thickness that is the COVID-15 or 30 that you have put on. Okay? They like that. They like something round. That's what they like. I know Mark has confused you because he has you thinking you're not as beautiful as you are, but you are still a good-looking lady, even though you can be so nasty and so rude. Okay? Catch that. Then we see Cynthia, and she's talking to Mike yet again about this wedding. They go to the wedding venue. I'm going out of order because the episode was so all over the place. I can't even put it together. This is the most pieced together season I've ever watched. I was thinking, okay, when Drew and Ralph did a little bit of something at the end of episode 2, I was like, okay, maybe we're going to pick up momentum. But we're not. We're still chugging along rather slowly. So I'm hoping Strippergate will bring us out of this funk, because right now, I could care less about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And let me tell you something. I am a Real Housewives of Atlanta connoisseur, honey. I can quote you everything from season 1 all the way to season 12. That's how much I love my Housewives of Atlanta. And this season has fell so flat. Anywho, Cynthia and Mike show up at this wedding venue, and they're waiting on Mal and her hips to get there. And so they all gather, and they're looking at the venue, and Cynthia is super excited, which every woman is super excited when they finally see the venue. So it's like a super huge deal, and she's hoping that Mike likes everything. But then all of a sudden, Mike brings her back to reality and asks the lady that is at the venue, what are your COVID-19 restrictions? And Cynthia didn't want to hear that. She started looking like, now why do you need to ask about that? So then Mal says, well, if we can't do, we can still have a small wedding at Lake Bailey, at the house. And Cynthia was like, no, we will not. First of all, Mal, and I know Cynthia was thinking this in her mind. First of all, Mallory, you ruined my first wedding, you and Mama, okay, by hiding my marriage license. I didn't halfway like the first man that I was marrying. And now you're going to sit up here and tell this man that we should not be getting married on 10-10-20 because of the COVID-19? No. We getting married on 10/10/20 in this venue at this super spreader event that we've already told everybody else about and that we've already posted pictures of on Instagram. So I don't even know why this is a storyline. That is what I'm thinking. Okay, we're sitting up here watching this, and I'm like, all of this has unfolded all over Instagram, so we already know how it turns out. The girl gets the ring. And then Giselle goes and says that the wedding made her uncomfortable, and then Cynthia has to check her, and then that's what happened. So why are we even going through this? So after we push them to the side and we see this long drawn out thing, Cynthia's getting mad. Her and Mike are driving down the street. And so Mike, but I was starting to peep that Mike has a little aggression in him. I don't know if Cynthia is drawn to more aggressive men, but he's one of those put his foot down type of guys. He ain't no Peter, honey. I ain't seen no romance yet. I mean, I loved me some Peter. I guess you and him were not compatible, but I feel like Peter really, really cared for Cynthia. And he used to do sweet stuff for her all the time, especially when she was mad at him. Remember that trip to Jamaica? Honey, Peter put it all together. From all the surprises, and then that season where he had the surprise wedding for her, the vow renewal. I mean, Peter was all that, honey. I mean, he was a little bit broke when we first got introduced to him on the scene, but he done turned it around with Sports Bar and Bar None and Bar 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Peter has turned it around. But anyway, so Mike is sitting there and they're driving down the street and they're having an argument, and he asks Cynthia point blank period, are we getting married on 10/10/20? And she's like, well, I don't know. So I was thinking to myself, there is something about Cynthia and a wedding. She just cannot get a wedding right. I'm starting to think she was right when she said she should not be getting married again. Because let's think back. The first time Cynthia got married, I think that was Porsha wasn't in the mix yet. So I'm going to say season 4. So season 4, because Porsha came shortly thereafter. She came season 5. So season 4, Cynthia was supposed to be getting married to Peter. There were all kind of money problems. Then they went to Miami, and that's where Nene told Kim she was going to pluck her eyes out. And, they had that fight on the tour bus. And then Nene was like, if Candy hadn't helped your ass, you wouldn't even have a beat going. Y'all remember that? Oh, I miss my Nene. But anyway, I digress. So season 4, they went to Miami. Cynthia was hooping and hollering and crying the whole time. Nobody could enjoy themselves, from Nene and Kim fighting to her worried about the marriage and the wedding. And they didn't even have the money to even have the wedding. The family didn't like Peter. Peter and her were fussing every 5 minutes. She was trying to do some little modeling gigs real quick to get $200 so she could put a deposit down. I don't know, child. But that was the first disaster. Now here we are, and God is giving her yet another out because COVID happened and we're in a pandemic, and let's just postpone it. But in true Cynthia fashion, the same way she did season 4, Cynthia wants to push through. She wants this wedding. There is no kind of getting through to her. She's like, I want what I want. I want it on 10/10/20. That is the date that I have come up with. It's, and I was thinking, honey, I wouldn't want nothing to remind me of 2020. That's just me personally, okay? To me, we went from, child, 2020, I just don't feel like we should be excited about 2020. That's not something I think you should want to remember. I feel like we went from 2019 to 2021. And 2021 looking a little bleak. I don't know. I mean, I'll see when I get there. I'm not doing no vision boards. I'm not doing no year for me, new you, whatever. I'm not doing all that. I'm going to see y'all in 2021, and we're going to figure it out from there. We're going to wing this thing, okay? Because when I plan 2020, now look at me. All right, so she's just insistent on having this wedding. So let's move on. Cynthia wants the wedding. Now we see Porsha. Child, this is the thing about Porsha. Porsha got body, honey. Got body for days. Okay? No matter how much weight she put on, the girl fine. So she's driving down the street with Lauren, and they going to pick up Tanya because they're going to have a little girls' day out. And so they get to Tanya's house. Tanya comes outside, but with a baby on her hip. And my anxiety was taking over because I'm like, oh my God, whose baby is that? I knew it was her sister's because everybody has posted everything on Instagram. So basically, we've already had season 13 on Instagram. Now we're just going to see it on the screen on Sundays. So Tanya comes out and she has the baby on her hip, and I'm just like, why would you bring this baby outside with this pandemic going on? Even though I know they've been tested, I mean, just protect the baby, keep the baby in the house. So they come out, she comes outside. Porsha greets her. They get in the car. They're talking about how they're surviving the pandemic with their men. Tanya says she's super excited that she's getting out. She's so excited that she's getting a chance to be with the girls. You know, she's happy to be with Paul, but now she's like, oh my God, I just need a break. I need some estrogen. So her, Lauren, and Porsha are going to Fallon's house. And Fallon is being introduced to us this episode. Fallon is beautiful. She looks like one of those, she looks like a model. She has a very beautiful body. And they get to her house, which is gorgeous, and they go into the pool area, and they're introduced to Fallon's husband. And he was an older guy, so, okay. All right, I'm not going to even say what I'm thinking, but y'all already know. So they're introduced to him, and he says, nice to meet you. And I'm thinking he going in the house, okay? Because that's what men do. You get introduced to the women, and you go in the house. And in my mind, I was thinking Porsha standing there with all that body in front of this girl's husband. But something about them as a couple makes me feel a little like, honey, they down for whatever, if you know what I mean. That's just the vibe I was getting. And the reason why I say that is because they were playing around, and Porsha picks up Lauren to throw her in the pool. And so Tanya takes off her shorts, and she throws herself in the pool before they are able to do it. And then they push Fallon in the pool, so they're all in the pool and, you know, got their bathing suits on and everything. And then they pan over, and they're like, is that a hot tub? And she's like, honey, can you turn the hot tub on? And he's just sitting there all creepy in the background, just staring. And I'm like, what are you doing outside still? Why don't you go in the house? So that kind of creeped me out a little bit. The fact that he was just standing over there, sitting over there staring at these women. And then Porsha was like gapping her legs off and like, did somebody say WAP? And I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. So they get in the pool, and then they go from WAP to fight the power. So the girl was like, Fallon was like, Porsha, did I hear something about you being arrested? I'm like, oh, okay, that transition sucked, but okay. So Porsha's like, yeah, and she's talking about something that's important. And then, you know, Tanya has her little 2 cents, and they're enjoying themselves in the hot tub. And that pretty much summed up the entire episode. Y'all see how that went? That was it. Weddings, wigs, and WAP. But I do want to add that in the beginning of the episode, they did show a little bit more about Porsha fighting for the cause, and I do want to say that that is commendable. I'm so proud of Porsha. I'm so proud of her actually standing up and standing for something and not allowing COVID or anything else to get in the way of her fighting for Breonna Taylor. That is a very stand-up thing, and I hope they continue to show it. I know a lot of people that are reviewing this show are like, that part is boring. It is not boring. We are in the fight of our lives, okay? So I feel like that's something that needs to be shown. The only thing is, I hope that Bravo will continue to talk about it with other franchises that are not all African American. Because it's not just about shining the light when you're talking to the Housewives of Atlanta. Of course we care, or of course they care because they're African American women. But let's talk about it with our Dallas franchise. Let's talk about it with OC and their franchise. Let's talk about it with Salt Lake City because it's important. So I just wanted to put that out there. Justice for Breonna Taylor, justice for George Floyd. And that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. I am so happy that once again you tuned in. I hope that you will subscribe, like, comment, share this with a friend, hit that notification bell so each and every time I post a review or just anything. I'm going to start doing some story times here soon. But anything that I post, that you guys will be notified immediately. Once again, I just want to say thank you. You guys stay blessed, stay safe, spread love, not germs. Peace.